All right. So, did anybody do the warm up? This would be like which one on our quiz? Number 5, right? This would be like number 5. So, looking at this, does this open up or down? Louder? Down, thank you. Because my A value is -3. So, to find, that means it's a max, because it opens down. To find that maximum value, I have to find the axis of symmetry so I can find the vertex. I need to know that vertex so I can answer this question and then do the rest of it. All right, so to find the axis of symmetry, I do x equals -b divided by 2 times a, which is b is -6 and a is -3. So remember, do each one separate. Do the top, +6. Do the bottom, 2 times -3. Divide at the end. 6 divided by -6 is -1. So my axis of symmetry is x equals -1. To find that vertex then, I know the x value is -1. So I'm going to substitute -1 in for x so I can find the y value of the vertex to finish my vertex. When I do this, I do the -1 squared first, which is +1 times -3 is -3. -6 times -1 is +6. And -3 plus 6 is 3 plus 5 is 8. So the maximum value is 8. Okay? Questions? Domain is always all real numbers. Range is y, and since it's a max, less than or equal to whatever that max value is. Okay? Now, the axis of symmetry cuts your parabola in half. When it's one like this that goes down, the left side is the increasing side, and the right side is the decreasing side. Okay? So in this problem, it increases when x, left side, so less than whatever the x value of the vertex is, which would be -1. And it's decreasing to the right of that, so x greater than -1. So there we just answered everything for that, like we were going to do for number 5 on the quiz tomorrow, and when we go over the practice quiz today. Same type of problem. Questions on any part of that? So when it's in standard form like this is, to find your axis of symmetry, you got to use that -b over 2 times a formula to find your axis of symmetry. Okay? Questions? All right then. Number 1, it says describe the transformation of f of x equals x squared represented by g of x equals x minus 1 squared plus 2, then graph each function. So I always graph my parent function first, and it's 0, 0, 1, 1, -1, 1, 2, 4, and -2, 4. So there's the parent function. I always do that first. Okay? And then I look at this to see what's going on. Okay? So when it's x minus 1, it means I'm moving it right 1. And when you got the plus 2 on the end, means I'm going up 2. This is in vertex form. So if you want to do the vertex, You can, 1, 2. It's right there. And then you can put it in your calculator if you want. If you know your parent function, you know it's right 1 up 1 from the vertex, left 1 up 1, right 2 up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left 2 up 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to do it that way, or if you want to go from each point, right 1 and up 2, you can. But that's what number 1 should look like. When you're all done, to get all 4 points. Okay? So basically, knowing what the vertex is, because it's in vertex form, tells you the transformation. You know your parent function is at 0, 0, all right? And your new function's at 1, 2 for the vertex. Just figure out what you did from 0, 0. So right 1 up 2. Or if you want to say up 2, then right 1, it doesn't matter what order you tell me. Questions on number 1. Tomorrow's number 1. Will it look any different than that? No. I'm going to give you everything the same except g of x is going to be a little different. Okay? Any questions? Simple, right? All right, number 2. It's still in vertex form. So it says find the vertex in the axis of symmetry. All right? So the vertex is the opposite of that x minus 1, or you can think of what number do I put in for x to make that equal to 0? Well, that'd be a positive 1. And then it's this whatever's outside, this plus 5. So that's my vertex. Just by looking at that problem, you should be able to tell me the vertex. The axis of symmetry is always x equals, and it's whatever the x value of the vertex is. So x equals 1. So that should be an easy problem for you. Any questions? Again, today's the day to ask questions, right? Whose turn is it to ask questions tomorrow? Mine. Right? All right. It says graph the equation. Be sure you have 3 total points graphed. So I want you to plot 3 points and label them. Okay, you hear me? Plot them and label them. All right. So this is in standard form. So I'm going to find the axis of symmetry first. Using my formula. Negative b over 2a. So negative, and my b is negative 6, and my a is 3. So I get a positive 6 up top, I got a positive 6 in the bottom. So that's x equals 1. I like to do that first. I guess I could do the y-intercept first. Y-intercept is the c value. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. That's the y-intercept. Why am I doing the x-intercept? Duh. Sorry about that. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I put it as an x-intercept, but it's 0, 4. Sorry about that. I wrote that all wrong. I was thinking of x-intercept. All right. I know it's going to open up. I know my axis of symmetry is 1, so I'm going to put labeled 0, 4 here. My axis of symmetry is 1. That line. Okay. I'm going to find my vertex now. So I'm going to put 1 in for x. 1 squared is 1 times 3 is 3. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. 3 minus 6 is negative 3 plus 4 is positive 1. So there's my vertex, 1, 1. So I need a third point. Well, all I have to do, from my axis of symmetry, I went left 1, so I'm going to go right 1, straight across. And that is 2, 4. So there's my 3 points that I labeled. And there's our parabola graph. So to get all 5 points for that problem, you got to do all that. Questions? Tomorrow's going to be another problem in standard form for number 3. Or maybe 3 will be one like this. I might flip-flop, I don't know. But they're going to be one like this and one like 4. For 3 or 4. No questions? Okay. So, x-intercepts, I can look at my problem. What number for x makes that equal to 0? What minus 2 is 0? 2, right? So 2 0 is one of them. What plus 4 is 0? Negative 4, right? So there's my 2 x-intercepts. So I'm going to do those. Label. Let's see. That's going to open up. So I'm going to put negative 4, 0 there. And 2, 0 there. Okay. My axis of symmetry is those 2 answers, 2 plus negative 4 divided by 2, which is negative 2 divided by 2, which is negative 1. So my axis of symmetry is right there. This cuts, it's halfway between those 2 dots, right? So x equals negative 1. Remember, it's an equation of a vertical line. So it's always x equals. The vertex is negative 1 something. So I'm going to put negative 1 wherever I see x. Negative 1 minus 2 and negative 1 plus 4. Just put it in the problem. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. And negative 1 plus 4 is positive 3. When I multiply those, I get negative 9. And that's going to be down here past 6, 7, 8, 9, about there. So that point is negative 1, negative 9. So I have my 3 points labeled. So now I can graph my parabola. So that was worth 5 points as well. Questions on 3 or 4? Got that right, Badger? Pretty easy, huh? Okay, number 5 is like our warm-up. Okay, so my A value is negative 1. Right? There's no number there, but there's a negative, so that means we got a max. Okay, I know domain is all real numbers. I know range is y is less than or equal to, because it's a max. Okay, and then increasing, I got to do, and decreasing. All right. And I think tomorrow I remember to put increasing and decreasing on those lines, right? So I'm looking for what that maximum value is. So I have to find my axis of symmetry so I can find my vertex. So it's in standard form, so negative b over 2 times a. Two negatives make it a positive 4. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So my vertex is negative 2 something. This, whatever this something is this max value I'm looking for. Remember, it's the y value of the vertex. Okay, so wherever I see an x, I put negative 2. Negative 2, when I square it, is positive 4, but that negative out front makes it negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. Negative 4 plus 8 is positive 4, minus 2 is 2. So my max value is 2. My range is y is less than or equal to 2. Remember, since it's a max, your axis of symmetry cuts it in half. The left side is increasing and the right side is decreasing. So left of negative 2 is increasing, which is less than negative 2, and right of negative 2 is decreasing, so x is greater than negative 2. Questions? This helping? All right. So that was worth 6 points. This one's only worth 2 points. Okay, we have an equation of this model rocket that this goes up and then comes down. All right, so it's like, the golf shot, the dolphin, or whatever. All right. Since the rocket was, what is the rocket's maximum height? Okay, so I need to find the vertex. Basically, I'm looking for a max, so I got to do the same thing. That's what I've been doing. All right, now this is in standard form. A is negative 16, B is 128, C would have been 0. If I needed the C, I don't need it. So I'm doing x equals negative b over 2 times a, which is negative 128 over negative 32, which comes out to 4. Okay, so I need to put 4 in place of the t, because after 4 seconds, it's at its highest point. All right. So when I do that math, okay, you should get 256. So it went 256 meters high. Okay, so it's just the y value of the vertex. So use your axis of symmetry to find the 4, and then plug the 4 in to find the 256, which is the answer you're looking for. Okay. All right, number 7 is when we have to do some algebra. Okay. When I move something right 3, I do it to the x. So wherever I see an x, I put a set of parentheses. All right. So shifted right 3, is that x plus 3 or x minus 3? Going? Yeah, we're shifting right, it's x minus. If we're shifting left, it's x plus. Now, we're squaring x minus 3, okay? So here's how you do that. You can't distribute the 2 yet. You got to square first. And the way to do that is you square the x, which is x squared. You multiply x times negative 3, which is negative 3x, times 2. It's always times 2. What's negative 3x times 2? Thank you. Guys are all right up with me. And then you square the 3. 3 times 3, it's always positive. Actually, it's negative 3 times negative 3. Still positive 9. All right, you can distribute the 4 here. 4x minus 12. And don't forget, minus 2 is still there. All right, I got to distribute this too. So I got 2x squared minus 12x plus 18 plus 4x. And then I'm going to put those together. That's a negative 14. I still can simplify. I got like terms. So I got 2x squared. Negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8x. 18 minus 14 is 4. That's just for that. Part 1. Right, Cole? Part 2 says vertical stretch by 3. That means, I guess I should move that down. That means to multiply the whole thing by 3. So 3 times the new whole thing, this, 2x squared minus 8x plus 4. Okay? So I multiply everything by 3. So 3 times 2x squared is 6x squared. 3 times negative 8x is negative 24x. And 3 times 4 is 12. So there's our new rule for that function. After we moved it right 3 and stretched it vertically by 3. So, the part that kids always mess up on is right here. Going from x minus 3 squared to this. Again, you square the x to get the x squared. You multiply x times negative 3 to get negative 6, times 2 then, to get negative 6x. And then you square negative 3 times negative 3. It's always plus whatever that number squared is, 9. Okay? Combine like terms, simplify it, and then do the second part. Questions? All right, that's probably the longest problem, toughest one. Here, a reflection across the x means you're going to multiply the whole thing by negative 1. So distribute the negative 1, you get positive 5x squared minus 3. And then part 2, shift down 4, you just go minus 4. So our answer is g of x equals 5x squared minus 7. That one's a little easier. So reflection across the x, you just multiply the whole thing by negative 1. And then up or down, down's minus, up would be plus on the end. All right. Lucas, you doing okay? Good. All right, the last one. Kicking footballs here. The first kick is this one. All All right, we got to draw the second one. All right, it's going to start, he kicks or she kicks from there. And what's that x minus 70 say? It goes 70 yards, right? That x-intercept is 70. So which one went the furthest, 1 or 2? It went 70 yards. The other one only went 64 yards, the first one. So that's that thing not do it over there, huh? Oh well. Now I got to figure out highest, so I got to figure out the vertex. All right, so what's halfway between 0 and 70? 35, right? So my x value is 35. Again, just halfway between where it started and where it hit the ground, right? So I put 35 in my little function here. 0, 0, 9 times 35 times 35 minus 70. Right? So negative 0.009 times 35 times 35 minus 70. And I get 11.025. That's in what? Yards? Yeah, height. So 11 yards high. How high was this one? 12. So which one went higher? First one. Okay. So highest was number 1 or first, and it went 12 yards high. So basically all you're doing for 9 is finding the x-intercepts, which are going to be 0, 0, 1, and then whatever the opposite of that's the other. That's how far it went. And then find the vertex to see how high it went, and then compare them. Okay? Any questions? No questions. So you won't have any questions for me tomorrow, right? Good. All right. Good job listening.